He had the wise men coming to Herod and asking, where is he that is born king of the Jews? And he goes to the scribes and asks, where is the coming king going to be born? And they said, in Bethlehem. They quoted Micah, they quoted the chapter, they quoted the verse. And Bethlehem is 6 miles away, can be walked very easily in 2 hours, and yet nobody out of this entire city of Jerusalem took the trouble to walk the 2-hour walk except the wise men from the east. You can know and not act on your knowledge. And he said, these folks do, so do what they tell you. I recall one of the great Bible translators of the New Testament, who was himself not an evangelical practicing Christian. In his translation of one of the epistles, he translated it to say that Jesus was the Son of God. And one of his friends said to him, you don't believe that. Why did you translate it that way? He said, because that's what the Greek says. In other words, he was an honest man, and while he didn't think the Greek told the truth, he accepted it as being what the Greek said, and he translated his translation accurately. And so it's possible for us to have knowledge and not act on that knowledge. They would take the scriptures, because the Bible had said in Moses to bind them on your hands, which we would take, obey them, bind them on your forehead, which we would take to say think them. Instead of that, they literally had taken little leather boxes and written out scriptures, put them in the box, and then with leather thongs, that very prescribed ways of lacing these onto your hand, and the string went up almost to the elbow, and also it was tied around your forehead, left on a brief time to meet the requirements for the day. So they make their phylacteries broad, they make the fringes on their garments long, and they just love to be called up to the speaker's table at banquets and given the chief places down the synagogues. Come sit on the platform, sit on my right hand, sit on my left hand, come up and be with me. And they sit in these great places and get this place of honor. And then to be met in the marketplace, and people say, Rabbi, 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 see? And yet he said they go home after all this. And they get out the mortgage on the widow's house. They check the date. They watch for the date when it matures. The widow hasn't paid for it. As soon as the mortgage is due, down to the courthouse, and we foreclose on the widow. We cover our misdeeds by standing in the marketplaces and making great long prayers. And I'm reminded of this fellow who was careless in his language, and he was criticized by a deacon who was known to be a very sharp trader. If you traded cars or horses with him, you might come out on the short end of it. And so when this man one time used some profanity in public, the deacon very piously said, now, my friend, he said, you should not use language like that. And the fellow came back and said, Deacon, he said, you pray a little, and I swear a little, and neither of us means anything by it. Now, it's very possible for us to have a reputation here. But he said in verse 8, you're not called to be rabbi. You have one teacher, and all are brethren. Call no man father on the earth, but you have one Father who's in heaven. Don't be called masters. You have one master in heaven. He who is greatest among you, this is the principle. He that is greatest, let him be the servant of all. And then the punchline, the text comes at the end, which is the regular practice of Jesus. He said, whosoever humbles himself shall be exalted, and the man that exalts himself shall be humbled. Jesus himself, at the Last Supper, washing the disciples' feet, carried out his own principles. Friends, let's follow him.
Now we trust that you've taken your notes and you're now ready to take our TV Bible exam, which is coming right up. Jesus said that God A was, B is, C will be, the God of Abraham and the God of Isaac and the God of Jacob. Jesus said that God is the God of Abraham, and the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. Jesus said that all the law and the prophets depended on what two commandments? One, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. Two, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. What three questions did the religious leaders ask Jesus? One, shall we pay taxes to Caesar? Two, whose wife shall the woman be in the resurrection? Three, which is the greatest commandment in the law of Moses? What four things did Jesus say the religious leaders loved? One, the head table at banquets. Two, the best seats at synagogue. Three, greetings in the marketplace. And four, being called rabbi or teacher by men. What three names did Jesus say religious leaders were not to be called? One, you are not to be called rabbi. Two, call no man your father on earth. Three, neither be called masters. What shall be the reward of religious leaders who love the long robes, greetings, best seats, places of honor, and to devour widows' homes, and for pretense make long prayers? They will receive the greater condemnation.